Shawnell Jackson. He's standing in the Milwaukee County Courthouse, awaiting sentencing for the murder of a university student. Reports say that Jackson, only 18, and his friend were out hunting for victims the night they spotted Nathan Potter leaving a bar. Potter, 21, was a student at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. They followed him, confronted him, and demanded money. When Potter told them he didn't have any cash, Jackson shot him, killing him on the spot. The day after the murder, Jackson fled to Mississippi. His uncle ended up tipping off the police, which led to Jackson's arrest. During his trial, Jackson didn't shy away from making gestures towards Potter's grieving family. As he was led out of the courtroom, he even smiled at them. Before the sentencing, Jackson's mother took the stand, revealing she first learned about the killing on the news. When I saw it on the news, I even cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never had a clue that my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster. He is not a monster. Jackson then apologized for what he had done. I apologize for my behaviors. Please don't take my life from me. But when the judge handed down the sentence, life in prison without parole, all hell broke loose.
First-degree intentional homicide conviction, and I am going to sentence Mr. Jackson to life imprisonment without possibility for extended supervision. I know that that is something that is reserved for the most serious of cases, and I believe that this case
His friend, who acted as the lookout, pled guilty and received a 12-year sentence. Case 2.
The families of Jonathan Shoemaker, I'm so deeply sorry.
Mackenzie Shirilla, a 17-year-old girl, was found guilty of murder after causing a car crash that killed her boyfriend and his friend. Prosecutors argued that Mackenzie wasn't just driving recklessly, she was intentionally aiming for murder that day. Dominique Russo, her boyfriend, and his friend Davin Flanagan were passengers in the car when she crashed into the side of a commercial building near Cleveland, driving at 100 miles per hour. Both men were pronounced dead at the scene, while Shirilla survived. It was revealed during the trial that Mackenzie had a toxic relationship with her boyfriend and had made several violent threats toward him in the past. She had threatened to harm his property and even break into his house. According to the prosecutors, she deliberately crashed the car to kill Dominique, with Davin as collateral damage. They pointed to video evidence showing Mackenzie driving calmly before making a sharp right turn and immediately accelerating, slamming into the building at 100 miles per hour. This wasn't an accident. The prosecutor emphasized that the video made it clear. The only goal was death. In an emotional moment, the victim's mother also addressed the court, voicing her belief that her son's death was deliberate, not a tragic mistake. She urged the court to see the intent behind the crash. Just days before the incident, Mackenzie allegedly scouted the same route to plot the crime.
My name is Jamie Flanagan. I am the mother of the victim, Davion Flanagan. My son did not have a clique of friends, but instead was a friend to all. He would go out of his way to show love and kindness to others, including those that were often cast aside by society.
I understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence, but I don't believe that would be the appropriate sentence, because I do believe.
When the verdict was read, Mackenzie was found guilty of 2 counts of murder, one for Dominique and one for Davin. As she stood to be handcuffed, she was visibly emotional. Before sentencing, she addressed the court, apologizing tearfully.
The families of Jonathan Shoemaker, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose.
Case 3.
I didn't mean to kill Oscar. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
At only 16, Jonathan Shoemaker found himself standing in a cold Buffalo, New York courthouse, his life forever altered. He was convicted of second-degree murder, a weighty charge that would haunt him for years to come. It was an unimaginable moment, barely more than a child himself, now convicted of ending the life of another. Shoemaker's story began with a simple responsibility. He had been babysitting his girlfriend's 20-month-old son, an innocent toddler who looked to him for care and safety while his mother was at work. Yet one fateful night, frustration took hold. The child began to cry, as toddlers often do, and instead of calming him, Shoemaker's patience unraveled. In a fit of rage, he beat the boy, hoping to silence the cries. But the actions left lasting consequences. The child succumbed to the brutal injuries inflicted upon him. The courtroom fell silent as the facts of the case were revealed. Shoemaker sat there, visibly shaken, realizing that his own hands had ended a young life that had barely begun. As his trial continued, he broke down several times, seemingly weighted down by the horror of his actions, by a reality he couldn't escape. But beneath his apparent remorse, investigators discovered another layer that would shape the court's view of him.
Record will show that you admitted that on July 23, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated,
A recorded phone call between Shoemaker and his mother, made while he awaited trial, exposing a chilling lack of empathy. The recording painted a different picture, one that called his remorse into question and hinted that he may have felt less regret than he showed in court. When the judge finally announced his sentence, it was a sobering moment. Shoemaker was sentenced to life in prison, though with a sliver of hope for freedom, granted by the possibility of parole after 25 years. Later, this sentence was reduced to 18 years to life, allowing for the possibility that one day he might re-enter society. But that chance for freedom lay far in the future, overshadowed by the weight of his actions. In that courthouse, Shoemaker's life changed forever. The sentence was not just a consequence, but a reflection of the irreversible pain caused, a punishment that left both him and his victim's family with lives forever altered. This case became a tragic reminder of the responsibility we carry for our actions, no matter how young we are.